Dante Fox, Fiction 6, First Signal, Fergie Frederiksen, que en paz descanse, From the Inside, Frost, J.K. Northrop, Chimera, Legion, Liberty and Justice, London, Los Angeles, MPG, Tony Mills, Oregon, On the Rise, Ted Polly, Ramos, Hugo, David Redman, Michael Reisenberg, Sona, Takara, Talon, Danny Veras, Vox Tempus, Wicked Sensation y Jimmy Jamison, Eric Martin. Oh my gosh, Billy, ok. Eric Ragno, aplauso, querido Eric. Also, Eric, okay, I miss you, brother. Te extraño.
I miss you, man. How are you? Your place looks great.
Yeah. How's your life?
Dude, life is good. Doing a lot of studio work. You know, I mean, all my shows were canceled like everybody else. That was heartbreaking, but I've got a lot of great studio work with a lot of great clients. It's kept me busy and just staying out of trouble, man.
There's something I was checking on your biography.
Yeah.
And it says son of rock musicians. I didn't know that.
My parents were in rock bands when I was a kid, and they used to play, you know, they used to tour up and down the East Coast, and they started off doing cover songs, and then they were doing all original songs. And when I was old enough, I used to move their gear. I was their roadie. And then when I got older, I started doing their lights. And then I started playing drums. You know, when I was old enough, I started doing drums with them. We made 2 music videos, you know, in the 80s when MTV was first starting. And we never did an album or anything. We just did some videos. But
no?
I grew up like that, learning, you know, rock music, touring, you know, finances of touring, moving gear, setting it up, that kind of thing.
How you started, when you got your first big gig or big project?
I wanted to play keyboard, so there was a band called Amazing Grace, one of these 80s bands. They used to open for Winger and Slaughter and Living Colour, and they toured up and down the East Coast, and I just joined them. That was the start.
Was in the 80s?
Yeah, this was around 89, 90. That band toured for a while, and then it fell apart. And I wanted to move to Los Angeles. You know, I wanted to take my shot.
Oh, where was that?
I was living in Jersey City. I grew up in Jersey. I spent my whole life in New Jersey.
And
after touring with Amazing Grace, I got to see, you know, what I could do, you know, what it could be like touring with a band and a crew, opening big shows. So I moved to Los Angeles when that band broke up.
1981, you said, right?
Yeah, 91. It was like the fall. It was Labor Day. It was this weekend in 1991.
Wow. Let's talk about the babies. This is how it is you there. Oh yeah, I see you on the back. This is with 2 original members, the drummer and the guitar player. Esto es con el guitarrista y el baterista original de Babies. ¿Se acuerdan las figuritas que salieron de Kiss, Village People y The Babies? The Babies, okay? I'm talking about the trading cards. I don't know. I think they were released also here, right? Kiss, Village People, and Babies. That's it. Remember that?
I have a set of the trading cards.
Yeah.
I have. After my last show with them, I had them autographed them.
Really?
Yeah, I have them on my wall. I was a huge Babies fan, a huge Jonathan Cain fan. You know, I studied, you know, I love Journey. I do a lot of Journey. And everything Jonathan Cain, I studied all the bootlegs, so I learned all the Babies material. And when I found out they were reuniting and doing shows, I just worked really hard to get that gig. And it was a dream come true, you know, to play those shows, to tour with those guys. They're legendary. Wally Stocker, Tony Brock. I mean, I love them to death, you know.
How was the first time you met them, you were with them and say, okay, I am a Babies fan. I want to play with you.
I was so scared. I wanted to be so professional. But, you know, I mean, like, I get to do a lot of great gigs. You know, I've gone out with Graham Bonnet, Joe Lynn Turner, you know, these guys, Jimmy Jamison. I love these guys. But I guess growing up, I just loved the baby so much. And I told him, I said, look, I'm a huge fan. I'm a little nervous. I just said it straight out. You know, I'm not going to pretend, you know, I'm just like, I was a little nervous playing. And through the whole set, I was scared. And then we did this song called, was it Run to Mexico? And there's a Hammond solo in it. And I was like scared. I was like, should I do this? I don't know. And I looked up at Wally, and he just did like, just shook his head, and I just ripped for like 3 minutes straight.
Wow.
I just went crazy with the Hammond, and that's when I felt like some courage, you know. But up till then, I was just scared out of because it wasn't just an audition where you learn 3 or 4 songs. I had to learn like, you know, an hour's worth of music, you know, and just show up and, you know, play Back on My Feet Again, play Run to Mexico, play Head First. Some of the songs they play to a click, you know, they have some backing tracks.
Oh.
And they never gave me the backing tracks. So this is like, Isn't It Time? But it's very orchestrated. And they never gave me the tracks. So it was very hard to perform it with them. And like the day before the show, they gave me the tracks. It was, you know, every time we got to those songs, it was very tricky.
We were talking about all the singers. Did you know the last TV appearance of Jimmy Jamison was with me?
Wow. Where was it? Was it here?
Yeah. They play, you know, Survivor Play at the Pershing Square with David and Jimmy.
I was supposed to be there. I couldn't go. We were talking about doing a solo project. We were going to do a record and shows with him. And I was supposed to see him in LA, and I couldn't make it. But we had been in touch about that. And, you know, then he died, you know. It was heartbreaking.
So sudden.
We were doing work with Fergie Fredrickson from Toto. You know, I did a record with him. That was great. And we did a festival in Chicago with Jimmy. And Fergie was supposed to be there, and he was too sick. And he died about a year before Jimmy did. You know, another guy was doing stuff with, we were going to go on to other things. And it's just, and they're really good friends, you know.
We wanna give an ending to this part of the conversation by talking about Tony Mills, which was part of the China Blue project, which is your project. I was doing the project, doing China Blue with Tony, having Tony in the guy from Jai, you know.
I loved what he did with Shy. And while we were recording the album, he joined TNT. So the album was delayed by a year because he was busy with TNT. And while he was touring, it came up in my Facebook memories. I think it was about 10 years ago. He had that heart attack in the airport in Norway, and he could have died right there. Whoa. And if he had gotten on the plane, if it was like 20 minutes later, he would have been in the air. He'd be dead. And it was amazing. In the airport, they have like 30 cameras on you. And they saved his life, but he was already having some problems with TNT, and you know, it was already, you know, he was living in England, and he was going to work in Norway. It was really cold. He had his family in England, and eventually, you know, he moved to Norway and started a life there. And he didn't speak whatever language they speak in Norway, and it was difficult for him. Before he died, about a year before he died, he was in a car accident. And after the car accident, that's when they found out that he had this, I guess it was a tumor that he didn't know he had. They didn't know that he was sick. And he just didn't last much longer after that. But I got to work with him. I did most of his solo albums after China Blue. I did some writing. I did the keys. And I just miss him. He's funny. He was a great guy, but once he got sick, you could see he was struggling.
I was extending the what you say about my last conversation with Tony right before he died. I text him on Facebook by saying there's a naturist procedure from Mexico. I don't know exactly where, but I can try to research for you. If it works for you, it might help you. And he replied saying, no, it doesn't help. Thanks anyway. Like this, no, kind of cranky way, which was frustrating because clearly we wanna help in some way, you know.
No, I realize he must have gotten a lot of texts and a lot of calls a lot of messages from people who meant well, who wanted to help, who wanted to come up with, cures and solutions. And he I don't know, I guess at that point it was too much. But Josh Ramos had been calling me because he was doing Josh just released a solo album last month, and he invited a bunch of people to play on the album, and Tony Mills was one of them. And Tony did one last song for Josh on his solo record for Frontiers. I was on tour. I couldn't be a part of it, but I did write a song on the album with him and Harry Hess from Aram Scarum, and I wrote an instrumental on the record. So Josh and Tony and I are on a record together one last time, just not the same song, which is a bummer because I would have loved to have had that last collaboration with him.
What do you have, Night Ranger?
Yeah, it's my Gary Moon Night Ranger shirt.
Oh, the Gary Moon. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that interview. Yeah. Feeding at the Mojo.
Yeah. That's the album cover. That's what that is.
Yeah. When was the interview we did with Gary? It was 2 years ago, right?
Melodic Rock Fest in Chicago, and we did some shows. We toured a bit after that show. We played some festivals, and we opened for Dokken. We opened for Vince Neil. We played in LA. We played in Florida. We played in Chicago. Gary, off to do a solo album with Brad Gillis, and they're finishing that up now. And waiting for that to finish. Oh, they are working
on that now?
Yeah, it's almost finished.
Whoa, I didn't know that one.
He was going to do just 1 or 2 songs, and instead he just did the whole album. So we're just waiting for that to finish, and they're going to shop it and get a deal. But it sounds great. What I heard sounds amazing. You'll like it.
What projects are you doing? Are you working on right now?
It's been a really busy year. I have this Journey tribute. Shane Tassart on vocals, who used to sing with Lies, Deceit, and Treachery. It was the Bullet Boys without Mark Dorian. Gary Hoppins from Great White and Dokken was playing drums. Frankie Lindia, who plays guitar with David Lee Roth now. This really great Journey tribute. You have to come and see it. And we had all these shows booked for this year, and they all got canceled, as you know. So I just got a lot of studio work this year. J.K. Northrup up in Sacramento, from King Cobra, Paul Shortino. He has a new solo album called Mood Groove, and he had me play on that. There's a new project that JK had me play on with a singer named Rich Collenberg, which is really good. It has sort of a southern rock vibe. Okay. It's got JK on guitar, Larry Hart from Montrose on bass, and Steve Brown. I don't know if you saw him at the rock news this week, but Mild Steve Brown is taking the place of Wild Mick Brown in the George Lynch, Jeff Pilson project with Robert Mason. He's Wild Mick Brown's brother, Mild Steve Brown, and he's a phenomenal drummer. So he plays drums on that. So this album with Rich Collenberg is amazing. Frontiers just released the new Chimera record, which is doing great. Chris Catinas from Italy, I did his new record, which is great. I worked on a record by Fierce Heart with Rex Carroll. He played in White Cross, Christian rock band, and I worked on that. Yeah, Rex, you should have him on. He's a cool guy. And they were just down here shooting videos last week for the new record. So I'm on like 6 or 7 new albums this year.
How many?
With JK and with Rich and Chimera and Josh Ramos and the Fierce Heart with Rex Carroll. And these guys, I've been really busy. And then Steve Brown from Trickster hit me up this morning. Not the same Steve Brown that's a drummer, but the other Steve Brown.
Another Steve Brown, but from Trickster.
Browns. I mean, when the texts come on my phone, it's really confusing. It's really busy right now. So I'm staying home. I'm just working a lot. I'm working harder now than I was when I was on tour. I've gotten calls to put together an all-star band for something else that I can't talk about, but you like it, with a singer that I know you would like this guy. You know this guy. You know all these guys. It's just it's a really exciting time. It really is. But I miss my friends. I miss going to lunch and like you or Jesse Damon. These guys, I miss just going and seeing them,
The guys from Trickster are amazing people,
I met them at Melodic Rock Fest 2, the second one in Chicago about 10 years ago.
You met them 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Even though you were from the same city?
There was a lot of bands. There was a lot of music.
how are you taking besides the lockdown and everything, how your mental state right now?
I think I'm doing better than most. I live in a nice place. It's quiet. I'm still making money, talking to friends like you. You know, I'm trying to find things to keep busy. You know, fixing up my house, cleaning up my studio, doing more video calls with new clients and things. The people who really having a hard time are our friends who tour all the time, who rely on money for touring. I mean, I feel terrible for them because they can't make money. They can't travel. Every city is trying to avoid having events where people gather. You know, no movies, no concerts, no festivals, just in case people get sick. You know, and it's hard on our friends who are performers because, you know, it's like everyone wants to go out and party, yeah, but that's how they make their money. So I don't know, man. I still go to the beach. You know, I shop online. I have my groceries delivered. I don't have to go to the store. I don't have to, you know, go to Amazon. I do a lot of Amazon. You know, I'm ordering food from my favorite restaurants. I'm just trying to take care of the people who've been good to me. You know, and my parents live close by, so I try to see them a lot. But I don't want them to get sick. I can't get them sick. You know, we were talking about this. It's like, I would hate to play a great show and then come home and then like my father's in the hospital because I had to play a great show.
And believe me, hospitals right now, I don't trust in doctors, so it's like better to stay healthy, you know, because you come in and as on my experience, I mean, what I heard with different people, you come in and you don't know if you come out. So chances are that just don't get sick.
I had two good friends who went in the hospital. They never came out. They never saw their wives or their kids again. You know, and then like my ex-wife got sick. My oldest son got sick. Luckily, they didn't go to the hospital. They didn't have to go to the hospital. Some people get it worse than others. Depends on where you live and how close you are to it and this stuff. So I don't know, man. I'm happy at home. I'm okay. When everyone's ready, I'll go out. You know, we got to do what we got to do.
Yeah. How people can reach you?
They can find me on social media under Rock Keyboards, all one word, ROCK Keyboards. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. My website's keyboardplayer.net. I'm pretty easy to find.
Okay. Por su sex appeal, su beautiful face, or whatever, it's just because he plays keyboards amazingly. I'm saying this in English so you can. You are blushing, my love.
I love you, man. You're amazing.
I love you too, man. I love you too. Thanks. Well, thank you for being here. It was a lot of an amazing time. You know, a great conversation with you, and I appreciate that. Mi casa es tu casa.
Same here. Come by anytime.
Yeah, we're gonna do it again, okay?
Let's do it. Let's do it again. Let's do it when it's safe. Everybody just be safe. I want to see everybody. I want to play shows. I want to go to Latin America. I want to go to Puerto Rico. I want to go to Mexico. I want to see all these great fans. But if you go out now and you get sick, what if I don't get to see you? What if you don't get to see me? Don't you want to see the next show? I mean, I want everyone to be there healthy to do it. So please, just keep yourself safe so we can all party together soon.
Totally, brother. Thank you. Gracias. Take care, okay?
Take care, buddy.
Vamos a una pausa y ahora volvemos con más Sex Plus.